Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC and welcome to another episode of Channel Chat. Kind of doing another sort of impromptu group chat with some of the guys with me right now. I have Chris, TI Addiction. How you doing, man?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And then of course we have Justin, the Knife Dude. What's going on, man?
Not much, I'm here.
All right, good. I think I don't know. I was talking to Casey. He might join us later, so that could be cool. But just wanted to check in with some guys and see if. Hope you guys all had a very, very happy and Merry Christmas. So, Chris, did you get anything? You were talking about a new knife. What'd you manage to pick up?
This new concept Helix.
Really?
I just got the D2 version.
Very cool.
It just showed up today.
Really? All right.
And
I've seen those. Those
D2
look
for a
nice.
concept. It's almost as big as my Praetorian.
Oh, really?
Almost. A little
Almost.
lighter though.
That's quite large.
yeah, that's a good size knife for sure. Now I haven't had one in hand. I've seen pictures, but if it's Praetorian, near Praetorian size, that's a decent size knife for sure. What about you, Justin? Did you manage to pick up anything?
Not for I'm Jewish, so not for Hanukkah.
Right.
Actually, SRM was doing a holiday giveaway on Instagram.
Oh, that's right.
And so I was actually able to win this.
You did win.
I did.
Oh, cool.
There was it's the 7228 D2 blade steel. Don't really know much about it, but I'll tell you more when I get it.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
What's really cool is actually part of the giveaway. They're doing a free engraving on the blade, so I just got Knife Dude engraved in on it.
Oh, sweet! Right on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that is cool. I ended up getting a couple of knives for Christmas. I mean, I got that Victorinox Winter Magic.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah, that's their holiday knife. So it's on a Pioneer X frame, which that's what I really like. Mm-hmm. And then I ended up getting a couple. My other son got me a couple of these little albatross knives. Find them on Amazon. I'm pretty sure that's all laser Damascus. It's not true Damascus. You know what I mean? This one, man, that's a little pokey, stabby thing, man. Holy cow, look at that blade.
That reminds me of the Artisan Shark.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Just how pointy it is and the way the blade kind of...
Dude.
The swoop.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Shark CEO kind of combo almost.
Yeah.
But, man, it's a cool little knife. So, very cool, very cool. Well, what do you guys... I know, unfortunately, Chris's screen is kind of... Oh, there's KC. Chris's screen kind of locks up on us, so... But we get him here. We got him for the chat. That's the main thing. We want to talk to him, say hey. What's coming up for the channel, Chris?
A lot of concepts and hopefully working on a couple surprises. We'll see what happens there.
Okay. Knife Dude, what you got down the pipe? Anything special?
Well, right now I have a giveaway going with the TRM Atom.
That's right.
Actually, no, not the TRM Atom. The TRM Neutron 2 with carbon fiber.
Yep.
And actually with that going, it's my 300 subscriber giveaway, but I'm actually getting close to 400 subs now.
Cool. Very good.
So that's fun.
Right on. I'm sorry if I cut you off, Chris. What else were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say we're going to get a heavy dose of concept for a while from my end.
Heavy dose of concept? Yeah, I've seen a few. I've had a few of the models roll through, and I really like Concept's designs. They've, I found on the ones I've had, some of them have had the detents on the lighter side, and which, I mean, it's not a big thing. They still flip just fine, but I like a little bit stiffer detent. You know what I mean? So I don't know how the the Helix you just got, how that is. Uh-oh, is that KC?
It's got a big slab of too.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Casey, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. I don't have a whole lot on the table yet, but I'm here.
That's all right. That's all right. I know. I kind of shotgunned you with doing this, but
no, you're good, man.
I was like, oh, let's chat with some people. Let's see how we're doing. Do like a post Christmas wrap up. So, what did you manage to score anything for Christmas? That's kind of what we're just talking about.
Oh man, I not a whole lot for Christmas. Let's see here. Hold on, I'm trying to find. I got this cold steel Luzon medium from. I know last time we did this, somebody brought the big one and showed it. So, but this is
not the large.
Yeah, this is the medium that my eldest son gave me. My family has started to say, you get knives all year long, so we're not going to get you a lot of them. So that's a terrible thing, but it's okay. I do have my eyes on buying myself a Christmas present in the middle of January, so we'll see how that goes.
There you go. There you go. I do
Yep.
see that you have your. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I just said fair enough. I like the black.
Yeah, the black. It's now the Luzon. Does it come in any other colors, or is it just black?
I think it's just black.
I don't know for sure.
It's interesting because they call this handle bamboo because it's got kind of the texturing of bamboo but yeah, you'd almost wonder if they'd bring it in some other color, like a bamboo-y looking color. But no, I've only seen it in black.
I was actually looking at. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, and it's funny they call it medium because I mean, it's up against a 3.5-inch blade here. I haven't even, believe it or not, gotten to look up the stats on it yet, but I mean it's probably about a 4-inch blade, and they call that the medium. So yeah, I've not had the large in hand, but the large is pretty large, obviously.
Oh, that thing is a monster. The large is huge, man. It's a short sword. That's what it is.
That's true. I really dig it, man. I mean, I cannot remember. Well, it's probably on here. Yeah, it's HCR13, which JB, you and I've had that conversation numerous times. The funny thing is HCR13, but it is sharp as all get out. I will tell you that it might have bit me a time or two already.
Oh, HCR sharpens up fine. I mean, it's just not going to last like a lot of them do, but
yep. Yeah,
I mean, just drop it up real good, and I mean, it'll take an edge for a while.
Absolutely.
I see you've got you're starting your own review team there.
Yeah, my review team is a little less cuddly than yours. I got Ren and Stimpy here, and I think Ren would rather blow up all my knives than review them.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, that's my wife got these for me because I used to watch Ren and Stimpy, and she saw them and she just thought it was hilarious, and as did I. So there you go. Yeah, they'll be here.
That's funny.
That's awesome. Well, Stimpy might be Stimpy might be cuddly.
Here's the funny thing. I wonder, Justin, do you even know who Ren and Stimpy are?
I have no. I'm guessing they're from a cartoon show.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man! Don't be.
I'm sorry.
Don't be dogging on him. Don't be dogging on him like that.
I'm not dogging on him. I'm just saying he's a little bit younger than we are. And
that's true.
My kids did not know, other than me playing clips for them, like the "Don't Push the Red Button" clip or the log commercial or things like that for my kids. I haven't put him on the channel yet, but my kids always say I'm basically Charlie Brown. So I also have Charlie Brown sitting here. So,
oh, there you go.
But yeah, that'll work.
That'll work. That's good. I just got the, like I said, what was it? It was during SKL, I think. We just got the Baby Yoda. I don't know if he's going to work out. We'll see. I heard he's young. Well, it's not Baby Yoda. It's Grogu.
Right.
But it's everybody still calls him Baby Yoda though. But anyhow,
I had something funny to say, but it would have been a spoiler, so I decided not to say it. So.
Oh, well, I kind of did a spoiler too then, didn't I? So
Well, that's okay. That one's not so bad. The one I would have said would have been a bad spoiler. So.
Oh yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
If you haven't watched it yet, you deserve to have it spoiled.
Yeah, I kind of agree with all the chat going on. If you're not paying attention, then I'm just gonna ruin it for you at some point.
It's by now we've gotten to the point to where it should be out there. If you haven't, you've probably stumbled upon it, at some point or another. It's just kind of out there in the universe now, or galaxy, I should say. So anyhow, but yeah, so I don't know if he's going to join the team. We'll have to see. The thing about that type of stuff is it's awesome because I know somebody asked me one time, was like, why do you do that? And I was like, because it's part of the community. The community, that's somebody goes out of their way to do something like that. It all started with Blue, right? It all started with this little guy. That's where it started. And it was just fun and completely off the cuff. And it just, I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's like having part of the community right there with you.
There you go.
So that's why I do it.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's nice.
And of course, Lil Red, that was pretty much too perfect.
Definitely.
So
absolutely.
So you guys got big plans for New Year's at all?
Not really.
I'm staying home. I'm staying home, JB, like I told you earlier.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
One of my sons is sick, so we're all just gonna stay in and take it easy. So
that's probably not a bad idea. What about you, Chris? You got any big plans?
Just waving by 2020. That's about it.
Yeah, I hear you there. Well, by the time people see this, my review, or I did my 2020 in review video. So, I'm just glad 2020 is gone. I'm just glad.
You know what? The number changes. I don't think anything's going away with it.
Well, no, it's not. Just because when it magically turns January 1st, everything just doesn't go away. That's definitely not the way it's going to happen. So, yeah, and I mean, it's already bit us for January because SHOT Show got canceled.
Yep.
And I was so bummed. I actually got accepted to go as media this year.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, it gets canceled.
That would have been awesome.
It would have been, but anyhow.
No, I've never been to SHOT Show or Blade Show. SHOT Show is where?
SHOT Show's in Vegas, but SHOT Show is not open to the public.
It is not.
No, you have to go as media. That's why that was the only way I was going to be able to go, is if you go as media. And this year, with everything going on, the worldwide media has I don't think they were going to, if they would have had it, the worldwide media wouldn't have been as populous, there wouldn't have been as many there. So I think it would have been easier to go as a YouTuber for media. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But
that would have been your first year?
Yes, I had never. Yep.
Yeah, that would be cool. I've always wanted to go to Blade Show and just never quite done it. So at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, I really hope Blade Show is usually, is it June? Blade Show is usually in June. That's Blade Show West. Blade Show West is usually October, November time frame.
Okay.
The big Blade, because Blade Show Atlanta is much, much bigger. Much bigger.
Blade Show Atlanta is the one I got it. I should go to.
Oh, that one was that was fun. We went there, what,
I see his screen.
2019, and that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun seeing everybody. What was that, Chris?
I know Jerry Mullen has a CCE show in Texas every year that he let Blade run this year if they don't cancel it.
When what?
March.
Is that in March?
Yeah, he said.
Okay.
Yeah, so fingers crossed they don't cancel it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how far. I mean, how far things out are. I haven't even heard. Well, they're not gonna say nothing about like Blade Show and stuff yet, unless things get really, really
obvious.
Yeah.
Now I'm on. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm on Blade Show's website now because before I thought the big one was Blade Show West.
No, it's a lot smaller. Blade Show West is a lot smaller.
I definitely want to go to Atlanta if it's the one everyone goes to.
Yeah.
And so right now I'm looking. It says June 4th to June 6th, 2021, Atlanta. I thought Blade Show was canceled.
It was last year.
Because 2021. Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm talking about. Hopefully, it doesn't get canceled this year. I mean, you never know. It's I don't know.
Hard to say.
You're teasing me, Casey.
I got it all glowing for you.
Oh, there you go. So, I mean, you just dropped your review on it. I haven't done mine yet. It'll be coming very, very soon. But all I can say is, yep. That's one awesome knife.
I had people messaging me on Instagram saying, I know you just got it, but should I buy one and stuff like this? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I've carried this thing every day for 6 days. I'm going to go ahead and do my review. So I decided to go ahead and do it and post it last night. And it's going pretty well. And then this guy's posting tonight, the K320. I'm excited about that one too. So very cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, how they treated you with that, and how Hogue really. I mean, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they could have very easily just said to me, "Hey, that's the knife, buddy. You either like it or you don't." But and because there are a lot of people that have Decas that just love them, and it just wasn't for me. And I had spent quite a bit of money, and they offered. I didn't even ask them if they'd swap it or do anything. They offered me, and I think that speaks really highly for their customer service for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt. Oh, it looks like Peter might be joining us. Oh,
hey.
Looky there!
What is going on?
How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
Dude, you know what, Peter? I shouldn't. Yeah, you joining. I was having a bit of issue with Chris and his screen locking up, but as soon as you joined, his screen got a lot better. So thank you. You just made things all better.
It's the magic touch.
It is. How you doing, buddy?
I am all right. How are you guys doing?
Oh, good.
Hey, Peter, from now on, after listening to you and your wife the other night, I'm just going to call you Gorilla Mitts or whatever it is she called you. I'm just going to refer to you as that.
There are many challenges in reviewing knives. One of them is that I have enormous, everything that's comfortable for me, everybody else is like, it's a sword. I'm like, it's not.
My goodness.
I have relatively smaller hands, I'm not fully grown, and so I wear a medium-sized glove. And so larger knives are actually a lot of the time a problem for me. And wow, my camera's way too close. But I've got this ZT here, which is absolutely massive. It's a 4-inch blade. And my hand slips a little bit because it's titanium, and so my hand slips, and it just doesn't fit perfectly,
Who did the fire anno on your 0920?
The guy I traded for it with. He did it himself. Yeah, it does look nice.
Wow.
That's very cool.
Looks super
Yeah.
slick.
So we were kind of talking, Peter. We were kind of talking about if we Santa brought us anything. Did Santa bring you anything sharp and pointy?
It was a no knife Christmas.
Okay.
It was supposed to be that way actually for Christine and I, but I broke the rules and sent her a couple of gifts from a Therapeutic Edge, so she had to open up two. I figured a workaround midway through the problem. I was like, oh, well, if I can't buy her knives, I'll have that weirdo with the channel do it.
There
You
you
know,
go. There you
right?
go. That's a plan. That's a plan. Very cool. So what do you? I know you guys were just I sent you guys a couple of knives, and I'm interested to hear what you think about that old guard. Just give me your quick thoughts on it.
Yeah, I might be interested too.
So it's a spectacular knife. My only is this. Ray Laconico has really, that's his design. He's made a lot of knives that look and feel that way.
Yep.
And that's kind of the thing. He's made a lot of knives that look and feel that way.
Gotcha.
You know, there's nothing, it's a fantastic knife. If I knew somebody who was looking for a work knife, something that was going to be for them for a long time, be reliable, be totally useful, that is now added to the list of knives that I would say, here you go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you know, for me as a collector at this point, it doesn't like pop off the page. Does that make any sense?
Oh no, I totally get that, because, and see, that's kind of the point that I like about it, because I like that simple aesthetic. I like the simple drop point, the clean lines. That's what draws me in. You know.
I can't argue at all. It is a spectacular, just
Yeah,
knife,
that
you know. Some people had issue with the blade to handle ratio. I don't, because of the size of my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Right, there's nothing but comfortable grip here. But yeah, you know, I I had the Keen. I didn't like it. I got rid of it. This is better. I like this better than the Keen. I like the handle shape a little better. I particularly like the cutout right here, both on the scale and on the lock side. It's very, very comfortable.
Yeah.
But you know, in my daily life, I carry fancier stuff.
No, I get you. No, I completely get what you're saying. Well, that's just
that's funny.
like Isham's designs. You know, a lot of people are really drawn to his designs because they have more of that flair, I guess you could call it. I if you can call it a better word, please do. But that's
just, he's got, some people are more, you know, some people are more stylistically oriented when it comes to design. Some people are more functionally designed when it comes to design.
It's very good.
And Laconico is a straight function. He makes some of the best, period, straight functional knives on the planet.
Yep. I agree.
Right.
Okay. Yep.
And this is an example of that. You know, this is so right now everybody, well, still people are like crazy for the TRM Atom. Right.
Yeah.
Everybody loves that knife.
Yeah.
I like this better.
Do you? Okay.
Because the Atom is a super slender design, right? It's beautiful, but the handle is so thin that for me, it sort of eases its way out of like really good. It's a great carry, but if I know I'm actually be cutting stuff a lot that day, I don't carry it. This, I would.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah, I have smaller hands than you, Peter. I think. I'm not sure. I have medium to large, I guess. And the Atom was thin for me. I liked it a lot. It was really cool, the design of it and the way they put it together, really well done. But you're right, very almost thinner than the Deca, the Hogue Deca. Just super thin knife.
No, and there's a place for that.
Yep.
Right. But yeah, you know, I took it to, so I've been doing shipping for a friend of mine who, I'm not going to get into it because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk about it or not, but he runs a gear and knife company, and he's been shipping out of California. And so I've been doing all of his boxing and shipping. And so for the last month or so, I've been spending 3 days a week, and I've been doing a lot of cutting of media to like pack boxes. And I carried that one day, and it's a great slicer, super good through the material. But after a whole day, I was fiddling with it and fidgeting with it and stuff. And then I've gone back to carrying my hinderer just because it does the same job and it always feels, you know what I mean?
No, I get you.
It's a gentleman's knife. Does that make sense? Gentleman's size.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
I got you.
So
Okay,
how about you? What are you guys carrying today? I'm late to the party, so I didn't, I see what's on the table, but
We actually haven't talked about that yet, so that is a great topic. So let's start with Chris. What have you got? Are you carrying the concept today? Oh, he got booted.
I can still see him, but I think he's frozen.
Yeah. What about you, Casey? What was in your pocket today?
I had the K320 today. Just like I told you, I'm incredibly impressed with it. It's different than a lot of knives I have. I've had people comment on my unboxing that it looks super fat and means that it takes up a lot of room in your pocket. I don't really have that problem. I have more than one pocket.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm digging on this guy. I just told you a little bit ago, I was out in the yard whacking it while I was raking and whacking at some brush and stuff. And I was actually testing it out on some small brush and held up really nicely. No problems with it. Peter, I know you've had this guy as well, haven't you?
I still do. I mean, mine's
Yeah.
out right now being shared around with some folks, but that's a permanent part of my kit now just because I liked it so much. Hey, Chris is back.
Hey,
Hey,
Chris.
There you go.
Hey, so we just got into the what are we carrying today? Are you carrying that concept?
I think.
Yep. Oh,
You see that?
yep, we got you.
What am I looking at? What is that?
Casey Gray one.
It's the concept. Is it Helix? Is that how you pronounce it? I believe.
No, this is a Casey Gray.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Interesting.
With a nice little Damascus pocket clip.
Nice.
My lighting's not great in here.
That's all good.
Pretty sweet clip, though.
Yeah, Chris, when you and I were talking, you said you're getting a Damascus show plate for show scale for that, right?
Yeah, when we get the money for it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna look really nice.
That's cool. What about you, Justin? What do you got in your pocket today?
Right now it's actually on screen. I have the Finch Knives Tacuna, or that's what I was carrying today.
Right on Finch. Yes,
I just
they
love this knife.
definitely made my best new knife company of 2020. I've loved everything that Finch has put out, and for me, the holiday, especially the Oxbone holiday, completely capped it off. That knife was. I mean, the micarta looks good. The snakewood looks good. But man, that oxbone, wow. And I don't like white knives. I don't like white knives really much at all. But I tell you what, that knife, it just looks perfect in that oxbone. It looks perfect.
JB, does that make you the good guy and me the bad guy since I got the black and you got the white as far as the hat there?
White hats and black hats.
Yeah, no.
There you go.
So I was trying to remember. I'm right now on the Finch Knives Instagram page, and they have they posted a picture of their prototype called the Cimarron. I believe it's called. I'll show you on camera.
Yep.
Is that in production right now?
I believe it is.
I think that's the next one to come out.
Yeah, I think it may even be on the boat by now. I'm not sure, but I know it's been in production.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
It very well could be. And I know they've posted the Drifter is the other one. Is it the Drifter and the Harvester?
Yeah.
Those are
Sounds right.
Those are two more that they have planned. And I was pretty light today in my carry. I really haven't gone anywhere or done anything today.
That's a good day to me.
Yeah. I was working on a model
That's
that one of my sons got me for Christmas. He got me a Boba Fett model. So I was putting that together. So I did have the Ruck. I've been using the Ruck a lot today. That little Giltech utility knife. Oh, it's perfect for cutting pieces off the I forget what that's called, but the layout of the model itself.
Right.
I know there's a special name for it, but I'm not that big of a modeler to be in the know, I guess, you know.
I just keep thinking of those little nubs on the end of the plastic parts. Is that what you're talking about? Like the little connective pieces?
Yep. Helps shave those off and, you know, kind of pare the pieces down a little bit.
Yeah, it's probably better to use something like that than a big, thicker knife. So when you're doing that, because you're trying to be fine and really make that piece you're going to use nice and smooth. So yeah, that's great.
But don't worry, I do have my finger cut kit handy because it is a razor blade, and knowing me, I probably could end up using it. So
right.
But anyhow,
I always have a tendency to cut something like that back toward my hand. And, you know, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
I found myself several times when I was cutting pieces off, be like, nope, don't cut like that. Don't cut like that. That's going to be bad.
Yep.
So I had to. But we kind of talked earlier, Peter, about what could potentially be coming up for 2021. You got anything you want to share for plans?
No, I don't know. You know, it's interesting. I found that I don't know if it's the COVID situation or what, but I'm not spending that much time on knife maker like Instagram pages and on their sites. It's been a tough year. I'm not sure that going into 2021 is going to be that much better that fast. And so I've been sort of keeping my eyes down, which is a weird thing to do for a reviewer, but it's sort of what I have to do. I guess my hope, like this is what was in my pocket today, right? It's the SOG Kiku XR.
Okay.
And I hope this is what I'm hoping for is more stuff like this.
Okay.
More stuff from companies that already have a name, that have let their name slip. Let's do it that way. Showing a real concerted effort to get back into sort of making quality and excellent tools. Right.
So,
it's awesome when new companies pop up. I think it's great, but there are some existing companies who built a reputation. I'm just going to throw Gerber out into the wind.
Trust me, I was getting ready to. So
right, who built quality stuff and then stopped, and now they have to kind of deal with that. SOG is another one. You know, SOG made. I'm 49 years old, right? So SOG used to be the name of like that was the cool tactical, you know, kind of cool tool.
Yeah.
And then they were Big Five junk for the longest time.
Yeah.
Now they're not. I mean, they still are a little, but they also really aren't. And in fact, I've got a friend of mine is sending me the newest Kiku knife that they did. It's an S35VN. It's assisted, but it's very similar in design to this, but it's leaner and longer.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it's a button lock. It's an assisted button lock, which I'm not sure how that's going to work. I can't wait to find out. Right. But it's, you know, it's S35VN and it's the same. That's the kind of thing I'm looking forward to is improvement.
Sure.
You know,
SOG, Gerber, two big ones for sure.
That would be wonderful.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was talking about SRM earlier, how I won the giveaway. And SRM's been, you know, SRM used to make really cheap knives, gas station stuff. But from what I've seen, they're starting to make their own designs. I haven't handled their new quality yet, but, you know, I've got a new one on the way. I'm hoping their quality's improved. But their designs are now somewhat original, which I like to see.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
That's the 1168.
Yeah, this is that one that you loaned to us.
Yeah.
I love this knife a ton. And this is the third or fourth one from their sort of new stuff.
Yeah.
That has landed in my hand and made me go, yeah, okay. That's the right direction.
You got the 9201, the 9202, the 1168, and there is another one. You're right. Because they're all stacked in the same listing in Amazon. So you kind of got to dig them, or dig them out anyway. And I can't remember the other one. Now I'm going to ask you something about that. And if it's going to play into a review or anything like that, please feel free to not answer the question. But a detent.
On this one?
Yeah.
It's a little soft.
Okay.
But not, okay. I can flick it open.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about it like coming open while I'm carrying.
No.
and it never misses a flip. So, you know, probably not perfect, but a long way from problematic. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. That's a good way of putting it.
I love this thing. If I had just gotten into knife collecting, right? I think really in particular, this 1168 would have landed in my pocket and not come out for a very long time.
Yeah.
I just love this blade shape and the handle. I have to say that if you've got smaller mitts, I think this handle might be a little blocky for some.
Now,
but for me, it's phenomenal.
Now, see, that is exactly, I found the handle to be a little bit blocky. I did. And it's, well, we know Christine and I could probably share knives, and
you are her Blade West husband, so it's fully fair that
for like 15 minutes. For like 15 minutes. So that was only a thing for just a short time.
Can that still be one of my favorite Blade West stories?
Of course. Of course. Of course. It was, I mean, I guess I can't complain. It kind of worked out for me in the end. You know, I did feel a little bit bad because it wasn't until we were all finished and stuff, and I can't remember exactly what she said, and I was like, oh, she thinks I'm Christine's husband.
Without getting into too much detail, the short story is that there were many vendors at Blade Show West, and one of them met Christine and I at the same time, and then I went away because it was Blade Show and I was just everywhere. Yeah. And I think they assumed that the next kind of bearded, outdoorsy looking kind of white guy that showed up with Christine was still her husband.
I guess, yeah.
So they just made some assumptions, and it was just super funny.
That's hilarious.
Like I said, it ended up working out for me, but like I said, I did feel a little bit bad because I wasn't trying to, pose as somebody else to get a good deal.
Anyway.
Well, you're right. You're right.
Look at this. Look at this stylish hair. No.
I know. But as Russell would say, all us bearded white guys look the same, right?
Hey, man, if you want to go somewhere and completely disappear into a crowd and you look at all like me, put on some camouflage shorts and a black T-shirt and go to a Blade show. No one will know who you are.
Wow.
No one you can, man.
Funny.
I walked into Blade Show East and went, don't lose me, honey, because you'll never see me again. I look like everybody else in the building. It was hilarious, man. We definitely we may not all have the same feelings or the same positions and stances in the world, but we all look the same. We really do.
That's funny. Now, I don't know if you guys have had the privilege of meeting Peter. I love Peter. Peter is not a small guy. You can tell that by his hands. And when Peter walks in somewhere and says, "Hold my hand, honey, I don't want to get lost," that says something. That really says something.
You, man. What's she gonna do? Go to the center of the room and go, "I'm looking for the balding white guy with the beard and camo shorts."
Oh boy!
500 hands will go up.
Yeah,
it's the funniest thing.
That's true. That's funny. That's funny. Oh my goodness. Oh, but do you? Well, I tell you, do you have anything coming for 2021? You got anything special? Are you planning anything special? As far as channel related goes.
I'd love to say yes. We're going to keep doing the lives. That has turned out to be a lot of fun. We're going to keep alternating those. That's something we've added late this year, and we'll keep doing through 2021.
Great.
I haven't done any really big giveaways on the channel for a while, just because, as some of you guys know, my circumstances sort of sucked.
Yeah.
But I'd like to fix that. I'd like to, go out into the new year, and I think I may just do whatever the hell subscriber number I'm at, big giveaway just for fun. Pick something really cool and just do it. I'm at 2,600 and some change subscribers now. So nice. I think that I'm hoping that the 3,000, unless things change radically, I'll be doing a 3,000 sub giveaway probably in a few months.
Cool.
And that would be awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
Great.
That would be rad.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to be planning one here pretty soon as well. So I've got.
We are, look, 2021. What somebody asked me the other day, is 2021 going to be better than 2020? All I could say was, I just hope it's not worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. There's a lot of cleanup, culturally, emotionally, socially.
Yep.
And so my whole goal is to figure out a way to keep the knives coming into the channel so that I can continue doing, a couple of videos a week. or more. Keep doing the lives to keep things fun and interesting, and just kind of roll until we see where we really are.
Yeah, I hear
Right.
you. Well, that's we kind of talked about that right before you came in, and I mean, it's not like when January 1st hits, everything goes away. That's not gonna be the way it is. So you're right. There's gonna be a lot of recovery in many forms, and hopefully that starts much sooner rather than later. We'll just put it that way.
You guys ever been to a really big party, like a rave or just a really enormous party?
Sure.
And at the end of the party, everybody leaves, and there's this moment where things are quiet, and everybody that's still there kind of goes, and then you look around and see the mess.
Yep.
That's sort of what I figure the first month of 21 is going to be like.
I think so.
Gonna be like, yeah, we survived. Holy crap! Now what do we have to do? Right?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It's all done, but there's
funny.
still a lot of fix.
That's right.
Yeah. It's over.
The party's over. The work is not.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's perfect. Party's over, but the work is definitely not. And I love that you say you're going to keep up with the lives, because me personally, I find doing the lives to be probably the absolute best part of having a channel. I really, really do. It's a great, I mean, it's as close to one-on-one as you're going to get. Well, I mean, we've got this, we've got this, but that just immediate feedback on a large level is just so much fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that it's interesting because I don't like write out my videos. I don't do any I really don't do it. And for those of you that watch my stuff, you'll know I don't do any pre-production. I just pick up a knife and go.
Yep. And
so oddly, the lives feel oddly pressuring, because now I've got to talk. We try to keep it to an hour. What are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
Christina and I run into each other because she writes down the stuff she wants to talk about, and particularly when it's on her channel. And I keep walking, I keep sort of talking through it. Every once in a while, if you see me, and or you hear that noise, it's because she's elbowed me. Because I get off on tangents super fast, and it is fun, right?
That's
it really
It
is.
is fun. It is fun.
There's that when it ends. There's a moment where I go, okay.
Yeah. I get that. I felt that very same way. Yes. And it just, the more you do it, you realize that it's going to flow itself, because people are talking, you could have a plan, of what, like I have the knives that came in that week or whatever, and that's where I plan on going. And it kind of sort of takes a left turn or a right turn. But that's the fun part about it, because I don't necessarily, we all want to look at knives and all that good stuff, but I want to have fun. And if whatever y'all are talking about is more fun than what I'm talking about, we're probably going to end up doing that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And that's the way to go. But man, you've got, not including us, you have a fantastic set of regulars.
Oh my God. Are you kidding
entertaining. Me? They basically, they know, not that they're like hard rules, but they kind of know the social rules of your group.
Yeah.
They don't bring a lot of weird stuff in. They land. I think by far, and I watch a lot of lives, I don't always comment, but I do on yours a lot. But
yeah. Oh yeah.
The other one that's really fun is Jimmy Slash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does a really good live too. Most of the time, everyone has ups and downs, right? We all do. But some of the channels, some of the bigger channels, the lives, the chat moves so fast.
Exactly. Yeah.
That there's kind of no point to comment, really. You just like wave and like step back and let it happen.
No, I definitely get you there. And that, if there's a downside to the live streams, which there's not really, but I miss comments, I miss people's comments, and I feel bad. I feel bad when that happens, because we'll be going along, and then somebody will say, "Hey, Christine wanted to know about this." And I was like, "Oh man, I missed Christine's comment. What'd she want to know?" And yeah, I do feel bad about that, and because I'm trying to show a knife and everything's backwards in the camera, so I'm like trying to okay, is it where is it at? And I'm looking at the camera, I'm missing the comments. I'm like, oh man, somebody said something. What'd he say? So then I gotta scroll back. So yeah.
Oh, and I don't know if anybody else here's had a chance to do a live yet, but not only is everything backwards, but there's about a 20-second delay.
Now, see, I don't have that problem.
Oh no, we totally do. Because remember, we're recording on one phone and watching on a separate laptop.
Oh, when we do that, when I did that with Zach, yes, there was a delay when I did it with Zach. Yep.
So I'll this is me, and I'll be like, this thing is great, and I put it down, and 20 seconds later I hear this thing is great, so we have to turn off the mic.
Oh yeah.
Turn off the speakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's trying to keep up with the comments and pay attention to what's going on. It's work. It's fun work, but it's work.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why. Yeah, I have when I'm doing it just here, it's one setup, so it's much easier that way. But yeah, when we've done 2 down at Zach's now, and yep, if you're looking on one and watching on another, there is definitely a delay, without question.
So of the 3 of you, Chris, Casey, where are you guys? What do you have to do to get to the place where you can do lives? I can't remember. Is it 1,000?
Yeah, you have to get, well, I can do lives on a computer. I can't do them on a mobile device till after 1,000.
Yep.
So
I'm not there yet.
Nope. I'm getting there.
So you can go live on your computer, but not on your phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure anybody can go live from a webcam laptop type setup.
Correct.
You just have to have 1,000 to go live from a mobile device.
To go live on a mobile device through YouTube. So I did a live early on through a stream portal, a different app, and did that through YouTube, and it worked okay. I just decided at that point that I would wait. You know what my biggest problem is going to be, Peter? And the name of my channel is KnivesFAST. So you guys go about an hour. So I guess my lives will be about 5 minutes. So yeah. I'm kidding, but okay.
I will say that a lot of the features that they give you on YouTube are generated around how many viewing hours you have in a year.
Yeah.
And lives really help with that, because that hour, really, if you're doing 10-minute videos, 1 hour live is 6 of those.
Yeah.
Yep. Understood.
And so that stuff really racks up, and they get a lot of views. I don't know. People are just really fascinated by lives. They don't get a lot of full length views.
No.
There's this huge spike, and then it just, but whatever. But so they generate noise. They generate, I guess, maybe an SEO. They generate attention to search engines. They do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That make things happen faster once you start doing them.
Yeah, I'll probably, if after I cross 1,000, I'll probably do them. I don't know if I'll do it every week like you guys do, but I'll probably do some from time to time.
And they are a lot of fun. And
oh yeah,
they don't like the channel chats, right? I've had this idea for a long time, the basic idea of what I wanted to do with the channel chat, and it was basically fear of technology that kept me from doing it. I mean, that's as honest as I can be. And I guess I could say, thanks, COVID, I learned how to use Zoom. So, I mean, anyway, but I mean, they don't, as far as view time, they don't, because they're long. I mean, and I mean, like the last one, I think the last one you and I did, Casey, ended up being almost an hour and a half, I think.
Yeah, it was an hour and a half. There were 2 people in the comments that said they just finished watching the whole thing, and I'm like, wow.
If you do, great. If you catch the highlights, great. And I just have way too much fun doing them. Yeah,
it was fun.
Definitely.
I mean, that's the whole thing is talking to you guys, and if we have some time, and like this one was pretty much impromptu, because I know when I sent that message out, Justin's like, when are we doing it? I'm like, now. And he's like, oh, okay.
So here's how used to Zoom I am, because it's how I taught all my classes all semester. It didn't even occur to me to set up my knife stuff. I was like, oh, we're doing a Zoom. And I popped open my laptop and went to town. And it was only after it opened and I saw your knife tables that I went, oh, right, knife stuff. Different. Should have thought it through. But, here I am.
Yeah, but you're a handsome devil, and we like looking at you.
And your check's in the mail. Thank you.
Thank
for that.
you. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I got to get that in. I got to get that in.
Very nice.
It's all
Every
good.
time somebody says that, I have to give them $20. It's really expensive.
Really? Well, you are
Oh,
very
wow.
handsome, so
Yeah,
let's just.
you're very handsome.
Yeah, just
Why, thank
everybody
you.
tell him.
Yes.
Everybody
Now
tell
I'm
Peter
all
how
out of
handsome.
money.
Right on.
Oh,
No,
man.
I'm gonna have to go soon for dinner.
Gotcha.
But I do have one question. So, JB, you started your lives when you were at around 500 subs, yes?
Oh, I think so, because I was doing them on my phone originally, because that's where I was doing everything. And I think, yeah, that sounds about right.
And how many live viewers were you getting around then?
Oh, well, when I started out, I mean, it was pretty small, you know? I mean, it was there again, like Peter said, I've had a bunch of loyal followers as far as channel and watching the videos. So, I mean, I think I started out in that 15 to 20 range. And then I remember saying, dude, I had 25 people in the live. That's awesome. And, you know, and then it got to 30, and then it got to 45. And I think right now I'm sitting at, I think the biggest crowd I've ever had is like 82, which that is.
I was actually there that night, I think.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, me too.
And would I like them to be bigger? Sure, because I just like talking to people. But there again, I go back to once they do get that big, I start missing stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a healthy balance, I think. And like Peter and Christine, when they're doing them together, when one's talking and showing, the other one just could be watching the comments and kind of, hey, he wants to know about this. She wants to know about this. You know, same way with Justin and Molly. Yeah, it definitely helps. And well, when I did them with Zach was back there, hey, psst. You know, and I'm like, oh, okay. You know, and that's just the way it goes. So, but there's
hey, you guys are killing me. I just want to tell you, I'm the only one fidgeting with my knives. That's all I do all the time when there's knives beside me. Is I just I just see these tables. I see all these tables with knives sitting there. It's just it's like that's all I'm doing the whole time we're talking.
The hell
I've had my ZT in hand the entire time.
Hey, before you go, man, I just want to say now there's a company called Tactical Elements who worked with Jason Knight of Forged in Fire fame.
Yeah, I know.
Folders and kukri folders and kukri fixed blades. This is the folder.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's
cool. I've been wanting to look at one of those. That's really neat.
I'll get a review up. Anyway, the company that I've been shipping for has these. So I got to bring one home and play with it. They are $275 for N690 steel.
Wow!
But it is a monster knife, really is. So anyway, that's coming up. I just wanted to share that with you guys before.
That's
awesome.
That's impressive.
Right on.
The only folding kukri I have is this cheesy one. So
the Boku.
The Buku, yeah.
Buku. That's a great knife. If they re-released that in titanium instead of steel, I'd have two of them.
Yeah, it is for your hands.
That thing is wonderful.
Yeah.
But because it is steel and it's enormous, it's like carrying a brick in my pocket.
Oh, it's 7.5. I think it might be 8 ounces.
Yeah.
So
it's Hinderer heavy.
Yeah.
That's a thing. That is definitely a thing. Hinderer heavy.
Yeah,
without a doubt,
it is a heavy beast. I tell you though, you haven't lived until you've held a Medford. That Medford 187, that may be the heaviest pocket knife I've ever experienced.
You know, I do carry a Formax on purpose. So,
wow.
I mean, we're 10 and a little bit ounces. So, Hinderer's all right. I mean, Medford's okay.
Yeah. What you got, Chris? I saw Chris holding something up there. What was that, Chris?
Praetorian.
Oh, the Praetorian, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good sized knife. My goodness.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a big knife.
Just the whole screen disappears around this giant. I love those things. Man.
Well, that Midgard's Messer Viking that Kyle from DTOM had. That thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, that was.
I actually had one of those
knife.
in house. I didn't end up reviewing. I don't do reviews on knives that I don't like. I mean, and it was a great knife, but the one I had, I don't know if it was particularly slippery, but I couldn't open the damn thing. Because there's no flipper, there's no actual, like there was a big fat fuller, but it was rounded. And so it just kept not opening when I wanted it to. And so I looked at it for a little while and said, there's no way I could do a review of this. And I loved the knife shape, don't get me wrong. I'm like, there's no way I could do a review of this and not complain about that the whole time. So I just put it back in the package and sent it off to the next person because I just couldn't figure out how to do a review without constantly going, but it just won't open.
I can't remember which one it was, but I had a pass around knife that was the same way. I was just like, and it wasn't, but I got it. I opened it up. I was like, oh, cool. And I'm sitting here for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, this knife is never going to get reviewed because I can't get it open. And it's like, what is going on? And I was like, all right. It went back on and I can't remember which one it was, but I'm like, yeah, okay. And 2 days later, it got sent out to the next guy because I'm like, if I can't open it, how am I going to review it? You know? So then my review would be, I can't open this. See you guys. And it was done. You know, I mean, that would be my review.
Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge, and this is a knife that you'll guys. It's gone. Yeah. Actually, I have a question for you guys about that.
Okay.
I've noticed in this group in particular, there isn't a lot of negative review stuff, and that's one of the reasons I watch channel. I don't like negative reviews, so unless it's Nick's terrible gear, those are super fun.
Right.
Oh yeah, they're fun.
Did you? I think early on in my channel, and I say that like I've been doing this for years and years, but we're a year and a little bit now. I did a few where I was like, it kind of sucks, and here's why. And then I would go back and watch them, and I was so sad that I didn't have a knife that I really enjoyed on the channel that I've never watched him again. How do you guys get gear that you don't? JB just mentioned one, but have you guys had gear that you don't review?
Absolutely. I've had a few knives come through here that I just decided not to review. Then some of them were ones that I just purchased. And matter of fact, there's some in my box right here that I haven't reviewed, just simply because they're not great. So there you go.
And it can be not great for you personally, right? It doesn't mean the knife's, and in some ways I've had knives like this, doesn't mean the knife's bad. But I had a couple of knives, JB's mentioned this a few times. You really need to read those specs.
Oh yeah.
So I've ordered knives and be like, this is going to be so cool. And I get it out and I'm like, why is it so small? I'm supposed to do with this, And so it just ends up in a box or I move it on to somebody else. Just, this is before Christine was doing her channel regularly, right?
Yeah.
So this is, I have an example of that, Peter. One of the first knives when I first started sort of getting into knives and buying them left and right, I saw this awesome design from CRKT. And I was like, man, I can't wait to have that knife. And just for size example, I'm going to hold my K320 up here. And this is the CRKT Pizzota. And when I got this thing in, I was so disappointed. I was just like, are you kidding me?
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah. And I had, look, I mean, the funny thing is it came with a pocket clip. I have since taken it off and it just goes to the bottom of my pocket if I carry it. But yeah, I literally thought this knife in my head was as big as this one. And when it got here, I was just like, are you kidding me? I do think I did a review on this though.
Mm-hmm. But there is a larger Pizzota though, isn't there? I'm sure
there is. And I had seen that one on like, here's what happened. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I saw the Pizzota and I read the specs, and I think it was on like Blade HQ or Smoky Mountain Knife Works. And then I went to Amazon just to price check and saw this like way cheaper. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a chance. And so that's what happened. That's literally what happened. Yeah. But they don't call it the Mini. They just call it the Pizzota. And you have to pay attention to the specs.
Oh yeah.
They don't call it mini or small or anything like that. So yeah, that's the perfect example of one of those moments where I was just like, are you kidding?
They should at least call the other one the big one.
Yeah, right,
something to differentiate. I ran into trouble when I first got into all this, and I was spending a lot of time on Instagram. A lot of the knife manufacturers use hand models from their home countries. And so they would be showing a knife, this is the new, Kaiser, whatever it is, right? And be like, oh my God, it's a sword. I can't wait. No. It's this big.
Yeah.
And then I learned to stop even looking at those for that, because I'm like,
Yeah.
those are tiny hands.
Yeah.
So I make sure when I order stuff, I look at the specs now.
You gotta.
So I've got a quick answer to your question, and then I'm gonna have to go.
Okay.
I've done, I think, one bad review, but I don't do bad reviews, not because I won't review a bad knife, because, I don't try and get bad gear. I try and get gear that I'm going to enjoy and that I'm going to like.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I think it's a great answer, and that's totally the way to go about it. As my channel has grown, and there are a few very generous companies that send me things to look at, which is new and very cool, and I'm just this guy in my living room, but that's happening, and that's neat. There's been a few that have arrived. They've been really excited about them. I get them, and I'm like,
yeah,
right.
It's like somebody else, and almost always it does have to do with size.
Yeah.
I've got a great group of friends now around all this, you guys included, where I know that if a knife is too small for me, there is someone out there who that won't be the case.
Right.
And and none of them are junk. It's just I don't want to be the one going, this would be a great knife if only it was, or this is a great knife except.
Yeah.
So having Christine on hand to do smaller knives has helped quite a bit. We avoid that a lot. But yeah, no, there are knives that you guys have gotten from me in this little group that I send knives out to that I just didn't want to do because they just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do, well, when it comes to negative reviews, if I have something negative to say about a knife, and for me, a lot of times it ends up being around the pocket clip. That just is something that usually, I try to say for my hand.
Yeah.
Because I want people, and that's why I started saying, I have a 3 3/4 inch palm.
Yeah.
That's why I say that a lot, because
hand model.
I want people to know that if you have a size that's a hand that is relatively, and I'm trying to give them concrete evidence or concrete information that they can compare, that, hey, if you have a hand this size, the clip might hit you wrong. I'm not saying it will, but it might.
I think that's a really important differential. I don't not comment on the things that are wrong with the knife.
Right.
I just don't let that become the tenor of the entire
review.
Right. Because then you're just bagging on it, and somebody out there, unless it's Kershaw or Gerber or one of these companies that produce 56 knives at a time, 6 times a year. That knife, somebody spent time designing it. Somebody spent time building it. Somebody looked at it and went, that's cool. Who am I to be like, you're wrong? It's not, I'm nobody, right? That's not what I'm here for.
Well, that was kind of my point with the Hogue Deca. It just wasn't for me because of not the D10. I keep saying the D10, but the springs on the Able Lock just made the knife looser than I prefer it. But that doesn't mean it's not, I know lots of people. Heck, Ethan from Ethan Ruins EDC, he loves that Deca. Just absolutely loves it. So it's not for me. It's for me to say it wasn't right for me, or I don't prefer, like JB always says about pocket clips, not my preference, that kind of thing. So I think it's important that we couch it and we give descriptors like in my small hands or big hands or whatever it is, so people know that kind of thing. But that's why we're all out here, so people can surf around and, Peter likes it, but JB doesn't. So now I got to figure out which one I'm more like,
Right. Well, if I'm a guy with bigger hands, I'm probably going to like the knives that Peter likes, or, vice versa. And
right.
So JB, you said the size of your palm. I was thinking about it and I realized my palm's actually not that much bigger than yours. But most people have fingers that come to a point, and I just have a rectangle. Really, it's here, not so much. It's funny,
right.
Because, I have a relatively normal sized hand. It's just the rest of it is ridiculous. And so, knives that most people can grip, like this is a surprise. This Kiku. If it didn't have this metal extension with the lanyard tube out the end, with lanyard spot in it, this would be too small for me. But you know, it's just that's funny. Everybody's hands are different.
Yep.
Unless you're Nick Shabazz, and then your hands are tiny, and that's the way it goes.
Yeah, yeah. Now,
Have
I did
you
one
guys had a
review.
chance to talk? Have you guys had a chance to talk to him yet? I know
I have not.
that JB has. He is a spectacularly nice guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. He is. He makes fun of himself. He accepts as long as it is good natured and with good intent. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He takes his privacy very seriously.
Yes, he does.
But
Yes, he does.
the rest of it, he just takes with a grain of salt and a smile. It's been an absolute joy having an opportunity to talk to him a couple of times. That's just fun.
Well, and that's
Awesome.
just it. You know, you were talking about being a guy in your living room, people sending you knives. That's pretty cool when that happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
little bit.
but then again, like when we were at Blade Show West, I'm like, dude, I'm just a dude, and here I am walking around that Sunday morning. I walked around with Nick Shabazz for like an hour, saying,
Did you hold hands?
no.
No, he's a super nice guy. But isn't that trippy? Like, so there are people that have been doing this. The guys that got me into it, you know, Jody is one of them. That now that I've met them, and they're people that I call friends. And a year and a half ago, I was like, oh, those guys are so cool. They have channels and wow, it's so. And now I'm like, this is a dude in his den. You know, I mean, it's a trip how this happens.
Oh yeah, without question. It's pretty crazy.
I got voice recognized the other day at the knife shop in Dublin. That was a trip.
Did you really?
Yeah, so I was sitting in the back room talking to a friend of mine, and the guy that runs the shop said, "Hey man, this guy wants to ask you a question." I turned around, I'm all, yeah. He's like, "Do you have a YouTube channel?" I was like, yes. So I knew I recognized that voice. I was like, "That's weird." Like I got all seriously, I didn't know what to
That's
do with it. I was
hilarious.
like, "Thank you for watching. I have to go now," because I didn't know what to do with that. But no, that was a trip.
The tattoos got me once at Blade Show West.
Oh, the hooks.
The whole ball
Oh
of
yeah.
wax. The whole ball of wax. That got me once. They're like, hey, wait a minute. They're like, I don't think they knew the name of the channel, which that's fine. But they're like, hey, you do knife reviews. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do.
I know those
Like,
hands.
I recognize the tattoos. I'm like, oh, cool, right on. So that's kind of, if you notice, like a lot of my thumbnails for my knife reviews, it's always the hook. It's just kind of become a calling card, I guess. I don't know.
That's awesome. That's it, man. I'm gonna get a smiley face tattooed up. I have no idea.
That works.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, you know, I mean, I had to do this, right, Peter? You sent me
It's
this.
so awesome.
I had to do that. You know, I had to do that.
That makes me happy every time I see it.
I know it does me too, man. It was just, and this is what
funny.
things like this are one of the best parts about doing this, because you just get to be goofy, and you can just, you know, something like this, and like Jimmy Slash with his Piffmas, and something a little goofy like this can make somebody's day. And the minute I saw this, I'm like, oh, I know what I'm doing with that. You know, and I mean, it's just funny. It's fun.
But you know, so you mentioned so Jimmy Slash has built himself a generosity empire.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Piffmas thing is huge, and he does such a good job with it. Even when I know it's stressful for him, right? But he managed to put himself out there. You've built your thing. You've expanded to doing this, which is just amazing. But I may not. I mean, there are things that I do want to do, but because, you know, our circumstance is different. The other folks in the room, I just want to remind you that whatever you do, as long as you're putting yourself into it in a way that's real for you, and it's not costing you too much, and it's not eating into your other things you need to be doing in your life, it's enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's enough. We've got these
I'm
great
with you.
guys out there doing amazing things, and I'm just this dude that wants to share my knives with folks that want to pay attention. And that's okay too, right?
And that's basically, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
For sure.
That's pretty much where I'm at.
Yep.
Oh man, you're a JB, you're a fixture. You really are. You're a you know, there are certain sort of pinnacles in the posts that hold up this whole thing, and you know, the amount of people that are, because of how generous with your time you are and how open you are to talk to people, the amount of people that get to reach out to you and actually learn shit. Excuse me, stuff. Sorry. But that's you. You know,
Yeah.
and that's who you are. I try to be like that, and I don't think I'm never rude to anybody, but between, you know, teaching and the other job that I have and the amount of time that I'm away from the house, when I sit down, I don't want to be at work anymore. So, you know, I try to be really responsive to people that reach out to me, but I don't think that I'm as good a communicator, which is weird considering what I do for a living, as like you are and some of the other guys are, because I'm just like, I'm going to watch TV now, you know?
Right.
But I had to come to terms with that. I had to wrestle with that because I wanted, at the beginning, I'd be like, yep, here's 6 paragraphs of response, whatever. But that's okay too, right? As long as we're in this and it feels okay and we're doing it for the right reasons and we're enjoying ourselves, that has to be enough, right? That makes sense.
Does. No, it makes perfect sense. And I'm kind of right there with you. Is doing this, I can pretty much forget about the things I want to forget about.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because like this, I mean, when you just like when Casey and I did the last one, I mean, before you know it, you've been talking to guys about knives for an hour and a half, you know, and I didn't care. I didn't give a dang about anything else but that.
Yeah.
Right then and there. So the COVID crap went away, the mortgage payment, whatever. That all just went away. It's gone. I don't care about it right now. And it's just me and some guys that I feel at home with and I feel a connection to, just talking.
Suppose if I knew a therapist, I do.
Yeah.
He would probably say that is in the end really what good therapy is.
Yeah, exactly.
It isn't anything fancier than that. It's feeling safe and comfortable and happy and doing what you need to be doing. That's good stuff, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I think that's why I like doing the lives and these so much, is because you get to forget. You just get to forget.
Knife Dude, what is that Kubi at the top of your table?
I will give you the number in
because I think seconds. I have one. I was just thinking about that the other day. It's a really nifty Tanto.
It's a 237, I think.
Is it the
Shoe Monster actually just loaned it to me. I have to review it.
I think it's a 237.
It's the It is the KB 237.
Yep.
God, dude, it right out of the air. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go. I've got dinner waiting for me.
All right, man.
Gotcha, man.
Thank you guys. This has been great.
Take it easy.
Fun as always.
Oh, dude, it was so good to talk to you.
Thank you for joining, brother. That was awesome.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Take it easy, Justin.
And Chris had to leave too. His internet finally gave up the ghost on him. He messaged me on Instagram, and that's kind of how this started. Is I really I was trying to get Chris on because, you know, I'm doing the raffle for him and for Grateful Panic, I guess we can call it a raffle, the fundraiser. Yeah. And I really I wanted to get him on and talk to him for a little bit, but he was having some internet issues. Like I said, when Peter came on, his picture kind of unfroze for a while, but then it went back. But anyhow, I'm really glad you guys could jump on and join in. Like I said, it was impromptu, and I really do appreciate it. What else? You just put that Spyderco out there.
Oh yeah, I put the Draper out there. I'm just shuffling knives through here.
I probably should, because if people are looking at my screen, they're like, "Wow, that's pretty boring." But
yeah, this guy's special and really cool looking at the same time. So,
oh, that is sweet.
Yeah, this was given to me, Peter. I was in a job for 26 years. When I left, a bunch of guys got together and gave this one to me. So yeah, it's a special one. It's the Mike Draper. I think somewhere on here you can actually read Mike Draper. Well, it's too shiny. It's too shiny, but it's there. Trust me.
That is very cool.
Yeah, it's a super cool knife. I will say, like I was telling JB last time, much like my issues with the Deca, now it's not gonna do it. It does tend to pop open in the pocket. It has a couple times. And let me tell you, it's VG10 and it is sharp. I have a scar on my leg to prove it.
Oh, dang.
So I don't typically carry it. It's more of a showpiece than a carrier, but it'll never leave my collection. Well, I mean, once I die, it may, but while I'm here. You never know what your kids are gonna do with your stuff, man. Come
Well,
on.
that's true. That's true. No, I plan on being buried with all of mine.
That is
there
my-
you go.
Now we've all gotten past all this, and particularly since Steve does this. But one of my favorite jokes always is my greatest fear is that when I pass away, my wife or whoever will sell my knives for what I told them they cost.
Yeah.
There's a big bit in the beginning where it's how much was that? It's $1.
Yeah.
Yes, I got it for $1. No, you didn't.
Oh.
You can't fool me, mister.
Yeah, right.
But that doesn't work now. That doesn't
No.
work anymore.
Really doesn't.
I know. So there's good things, and there's maybe a couple of not so good things about having a partner that does knife reviews as well.
It's all good. It's all good because that everything really is above board and on the table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Also, having someone, like I said, having someone else that understands, because I'll sometimes, I'm sure you guys have been there, but I'll do 2 or 3 videos in a row, just to get some in the can for the next week or whatever, and
Sure.
I'll walk away and I'm like, I'll just look at her and say, I'm so sick of my own voice, I can't even stand it anymore, and she'll start laughing. She goes, I know, it's okay.
Well, I hope she doesn't say she's sick of your voice too.
Probably, but at different times.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Not at all. Not at all.
I did a premiere last night of one of my videos that I texted JB in the middle of it, and I'm like, I cannot stand to sit here and listen to my voice. But thankfully, other people like it. So.
Yeah, it's so I DJ'd for a long time when I was young.
Yeah, I did as well, actually, believe it or not.
Yeah, right. So you'd think I'd be used to it, but it's not the same thing.
No.
It's definitely not.
No.
You guys watch your own videos?
Sometimes.
When I get them uploaded, I do.
You go back and watch the whole thing?
Well, like when it's in the studio and stuff, yeah, I go back and because I want to make sure it's uploaded. Like I just had it the first time I actually had an issue. Which one was it? I think it was the pintail review I just did. It must have been a glitch in the upload because like the last 5 seconds of audio cut out. So I'm like,
Oh yeah.
Oh, and
That's
I'm
not
like,
good.
I'm pretty much done with my sign off and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not redoing this. We're just going to live with it.
I really wanted to be that guy that edits his videos. Like I downloaded a video editor onto my laptop and I did all this stuff. And then I tried that for the beginning and I realized that if I have to spend longer than the video is long on the video, I lose interest entirely. So
I'm
now
right there with you.
One take, I still use my phone. At some point, I want to get a GoPro or something a little fancier.
Yeah.
But I still just clip my phone to the little overhanging thing and just go.
That's what I do for all mine.
Yep.
Yeah. Who was I talking to? Somebody. Oh, well, guys like Everyday City Carry. Ray does a ton of video editing.
Yeah.
And you can tell.
Oh yeah, no,
It's much better than mine.
Yeah.
But I don't know where everybody gets all their time.
That's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. And like, a lot of times, I'm working 12+ hour shifts and all that other stuff. And I've got time to make a video.
Right.
I've got time to make a video. I don't have time to edit and to do this and do that. And yes, would the content be much better? Sure, it probably would. But you know what? These videos, the way I do my videos is me. I'm a very simple guy. There's no complexity to me whatsoever. I guess I'm a typical man, it's straightforward from the heart, the way it is.
Yep.
And if that's not what you're looking for, okay.
I don't know how like Metal Complex does it. I mean, that dude drops like 5 videos a week, if not more. When?
Yeah.
How does it? Some of these, I don't get it. Like when I first started, I was doing 4 videos a week. Actually, maybe even a little more than that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
No, I was just gonna say maybe he's independently wealthy and doesn't actually have a job. So I don't know.
I don't know.
But he's posting them all the time. You're exactly right.
Well, and there's a good example of that. Bearded Gear.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you saw one of his recent videos, but he was actually furloughed at the beginning of the year. And I guess he had done a lot of content, sounded like he'd done a lot of content creation for his wife.
Yep.
And now that's pretty much what he's focused on, is doing this content creation, which is, that's awesome if you can do that. That's fantastic. You know, I unfortunately don't have that time.
No, I don't either.
I mean, I pretty much do a video a week, you know, and that's me coming home. I usually record my videos at 10, 11 o'clock at night. You know, everybody else is in bed. I get home from work at that time. I record my video, get it all set up, do what I got to do, you know, and it's ready to go. If I had to do more than that, there'd be no way. No way.
Yeah. You know, but then, like I said, it's like I was saying before about putting yourself into the channel. It's fun, dude. Your videos are great. You've got a pattern and a process. You know, it works and it looks good, right?
Yep.
I think though that if there are so if there's any people who are thinking about doing this, you're thinking about getting started, practice first. Like really, like, you know, figure out what mat you're going to use, how you want it to look, where the camera's got to be, get all that stuff done before you start. Because if you look at my early videos, I'm sitting out on my patio. And the early ones, I'm actually holding the camera by hand.
Oh yeah.
And there's all, you know, it's doing this. Things are wiggling. Learn from my mistakes.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
That's funny.
I got lucky because my son was doing a YouTube channel, you know, and he's the one that kind of talked me into it. So he took me out and showed me the basics of what I needed to get started. Right. So I had a little bit of a good start there. But yes, as far as the actual video and how I have my flow, I have my pattern without question. And every video is pretty much that way. I think that's both good and both bad in a way that people are going to know what they're going to get when they see my video, because and it's just what works for me. You know, if I stay on that path, I'm okay. You know, if I get off that path, oh, Jiminy, you know, things start to go off the rails.
Speaking of patterns, I don't know about you guys, but I constantly forget. Like I did a stretch of videos where I just forgot to I like to weigh them and do the blade thickness and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I got through about a month ago, like 3 or 4 of my videos uploaded, and I realized that just wasn't in there at all.
Yeah.
Like I just, at some point I forgot that I did that.
Yeah.
Like how come my videos are coming up like 2 minutes shorter? And then I went back and watched them. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, and I'll forget something every once in a while, you know, and I will, you know, like, I'll forget to throw out the price or something, because that's something people really want to know. They want to know how much it's going to cost them, which I don't blame them. I do too.
Right.
You know, that's
so funny story. I told you this review drops tonight.
Yep.
I realized when I finished it and went back and watched it, I don't say the price in this review tonight. So for anyone watching, it's about $130. But yeah, I when I do that, I just throw it in the comments. Now, JB knows, Peter, we've talked about this. I don't, he does. You watch JB, he's got a formula. You know, at this point in his video, he's going to talk about this. He's going to talk about this. I just free flow. I don't write anything down. I do have usually either a piece of paper or a laptop next to me with the stats on the knife. And I do refer to them. But I'm just kind of a guy that just lets it rip. But what that ends up in, sometimes I do a review maybe 4 times sometimes before I get one that I like, because I'll sit there as soon as I'm done and I'm like, crud, I forgot to say X or Y or Z. But I just think it works better for me than you know, like if you watch Brad from Mild Mannered, Brad's got a system. And he goes down, he wants to talk about the ergos and the carry and the, you know, he goes through each of those things, and that works great for him. That's just not me, man.
Right.
It's just, I just like to throw it out there and tell you what I think of the knife.
Well,
and
quick shout out to Brad. I love Brad's videos.
Oh, I do too. They're great.
I love Brad's videos.
That's my point has been all along that's why there's so many of us, because everybody, something works for you, and
right.
Mine might not be the best style for you, but they are for some people. So
that's interesting. How many of us there are? I have a question, and I don't know. We'll see. I think there are a lot of us, and there's more now than ever before. Like there's been sort of an explosion of people, going at this.
Oh yeah.
Particularly because people have been home for COVID.
Sure. And
I wonder if we're going to see like a kind of a peak and then kind of a drop off, or people are just going to kind of keep plugging away. What do you guys think? Do you think a lot of the newer channels are sort of because COVID boredom, or what do you think?
I think that definitely plays into the equation without question. It does. Well, like this. Well, I mean, I'm off this week anyway, but like just doing a random live stream in the middle of the day, if you're work from home or whatever, yeah, you could, if you've got your work done for the day or whatever, you could do something like that. But if you actually physically have to go to a workplace and work for 8, 10, 12 hours, there's no way you're going to be able to do that stuff. So I think 12 hours. I don't either, but that's life sometimes. But it is.
I was just gonna say I don't know the answer to your question. It's interesting. JB knows this, and not everybody knows this. I'm one of the old guys. I've been doing this for 5+ years, but I literally COVID was what made me have a little bit extra time to make it take off and not just be around 200 subscribers. But and people like JB and Kyle from DTOM and Brad and people that came beside me, and you sending knives along, and David from Blade Banner, and so I think, I hope I'm here for the long haul, because I was doing it before. I'm just doing more now, but I think you're right. I think there are some that are Johnny come latelys that might not stick it out if things go back to normal, whatever normal is.
I'm just interested to see what happens.
Yeah, me too. That's a great point, and it's not. And some of them, if that's the case, I'm going to be a little sad.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest with you, because and even before all this other junk happened, there's been guys that I've loved, and big one there again, Grateful Panic. Him and I started out about the same time.
Yeah.
And John and I we worked together back and forth and back and forth. He got me really back into the traditional knives, and sending me, loaning me the GECs that he had and all that, and then things happen in your life and it just doesn't happen anymore,
Yeah.
And
that happens. It's amazing how many, if you still now, of course, if you go on YouTube and search knives, the endless videos. And if you go look, some of these guys had, 2, 3, 6, 10,000 subscribers, and they haven't made a video in 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. Stuff happens, right? We come and we go, but this is, with the exception of a few people that have enormous subscriber bases, this is not a living.
No.
Right.
No.
I teach a developmental psychology class, and I always ask, I said, I always preface it by saying, since I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up, I'd like to know what you guys want to do when you grow up.
Right.
Growing it, whatever. But, and a couple of years ago, I have in more than one class, I have people say, oh, I want to be a content creator on the internet. And even back then I would say, well, now that I do create content on the internet, man, the people that actually make a living doing this either are very special.
Yeah.
And there are a number of them. They have a very particular groove that works very, very, very well.
Yeah.
And there's those two. They're lucky.
Yeah.
There's a little luck involved.
Oh, sure.
Or they were first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. If you're one of those things, or maybe you're just very, very talented. I'm not.
No.
So if you're one of those things, it's possible. But for the rest of us, this is a hobby.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah,
I
but
love
that's
doing
why-
it.
That's why it comes and goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
Yeah,
as
yeah.
with all, every hobby in the world has to take second fiddle to family and work and whatever, right?
Oh yeah.
100%.
But I figured the nice thing about this community, what I've come to really appreciate is, let's say that something catastrophic happens and I had to stop making videos for a couple of months. There would be this sort of foundation of friendship waiting for me when I came back.
Oh, without
Does that make
question.
sense? Do you know what I mean by
Without
that?
question.
And that's
Yeah.
the joy of this community. It's not that people are like, well, you disappeared for 3 weeks. It's not. It's none of that. It's you'd get, are you okay? Sure, I just can't do this for now. Okay, we'll see you when you get. It's like we'll see you when you get home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the best part. So I guess where I'm going with that is that for people that are watching this later, if you have a small channel and you need to stop if you have a big channel and you need to stop for a while, we'll be here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Well, and you
I
know
think
what?
that's awesome.
I want to piggyback on that just a little bit. And I mean, I think we talk about this in pretty much every channel chat I do, as far as the community. But what was it? 2 weeks ago during SKL, I was just having a rough night. I just was. I was off. I was, just the words would not come to me. And it was a rough night. But you know what? I had 3 or 4 people right after it was done message me, "Hey bro, you okay? You doing all right? Is everything cool?" And I'm like, yeah, it's just a bad night, you got anything on your mind? Is something, you need to talk about anything? And I'm like, nah, man, it was just, it was just bad day, it was just a bad night. I just couldn't get the brain just didn't want it. There was a lag there and I couldn't get it to go away. I didn't have anything to blame it on. I couldn't blame it on peanut butter whiskey, or I couldn't blame it on anything. It just was. But the people reached out afterwards saying, "Hey, are you okay?" "Yeah, man, I'm doing good." How that's just cool. That's just
man,
so cool.
Though, don't not. So here's the thing, man. That speaks volumes about the community at large, but also volumes about you.
Yeah.
I mean, you tend to inspire that kind of kindness and thoughtfulness in people.
Well, thank you.
Just from the way that you walk in the world and the way that you share yourself and the way that you are with other people. So know that is a great nod to the sort of awesomeness that is this community, particularly, your channel's community, but don't leave yourself out of that equation.
Absolutely.
Right.
There again, I'll say, dude, I'm just a guy in my bed. I'm the guy in the bedroom talking about knives.
If you were a jerk, rather than reach out to see how you were doing, people would have been like, "Did you see that screwed up live the other night?"
Yeah.
That's
I get what you're saying. And I do, trust me, Peter, it touches me deeply that you would say that. And I greatly appreciate that, my friend.
So just to piggyback on that, when I first started, like I said, 4 or 5 years ago, and the funny thing is, without saying names, Peter, some of the channels you talked about that were there and were fixtures and knives, and their videos are still out there, but I reached out to those guys to sort of try to get help to launch my channel. Chirp, 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 chirp. One of which actually told me to leave him alone. So the funny thing is you talk about JB, I started asking this guy questions, and he kept asking me if I had more questions. So, you can say you're just a guy in your bedroom, but you're different. So, and a lot of the people we're talking to, right, Peter's that way, and Kyle, and Jake from Bearded Gear, you mentioned him, and Brad, and I mean, hey, I wouldn't be able to. This is funny. I'm terrible at Spidey flicking, but Jake from Bearded Gear taught me how. So, there you go. So, it's the community that is existing right now is super tight knit, and I think it's awesome. So, but there are people out there that aren't like that. So it's definitely different.
People, that's just it, man. Anybody can do this anywhere they want, right? Anybody can bring themselves to the world anywhere they want. This particular core, or whatever, this group, you mentioned the names. A lot of those names, like geared towards gear. I miss.
Oh, yeah.
Because when we got back from Blade Show and decided we wanted to do this, those are the people that were there for us. And if we'd have reached out and gotten a whole lot of, go screw yourself, or take, who cares, we probably wouldn't have done it. because we weren't interested. You know, I didn't want to just talk into the camera. I wanted there to be more to it. And because of that group that you mentioned and this particular core of people that were there and like, yeah, sure, here's how you do it. Here's what you need. You know, here's what you're going to want to watch out for. Those were critical questions, you know. They answered questions I didn't even know.
100%.
Yeah.
And because of that, what happens though is when you build an organization, you guys may have done this before, or a team or a group, if the core of the team has a particular value set and approach to things, the team and then the organization will also.
Yep.
And so that's kind of, at least that's where I came in. I came in a little bit late, and that's how it was. Because the core was about sharing and generosity and understanding and supporting, that's what was normal and natural. And that's what, okay, well, that's what's expected in this group. I can totally do that. Let's go.
That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah,
well, that's basically what was, that was my whole reason for wanting to do these. You know, I've talked to a few guys, and I wanted to focus on channels with less than 1,000 subscribers, 500 subscribers, because when I started out, Jimmy Slash did me an amazing solid, and he really helped me get started, you know, and I wanted to pay that forward. I wanted to do that for somebody else. And like you said, his generosity in the community inspired me to do what I do. And it's a cascading effect.
Yep.
You know, if you see generosity and love and compassion, you're gonna spread that. If you see consternation and basically the other side of it, well, that's not going to inspire you to do anything.
No, I agree.
You know, and that's how communities build. And the best part though is that if people don't like, let's call it this love fest, if people want more, there are whole channels, whole places for them to go and have that.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Sure.
And that's the best part. It's not that this is the only way to do it. It's not that there is an only or right way to do it. This is the way we do this. Other people do it differently. And that's awesome. Go and enjoy yourselves. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because it turns out there's enough audience, which this is amazing to me. There's enough audience for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's kind of funny you mentioned that too, Peters, because when my son was here for Christmas, my oldest son, they watch, I believe it's on YouTube, but they watch this couple that they absolutely hate one another, and they come from different backgrounds and lifestyles and everything opposite you could just about imagine, but they do a show together because it's successful, because people want to watch that. And that's, you know, it's just what it is. You want to watch it, the train wreck, you know, I guess, and that's just how it works out.
It sounds like one I'll be avoiding.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, I get it. I get it. It's just what
funny.
People like.
Yep.
Just like knives, right?
Yep.
Some people like these. Some people like fixed blades. Some people like traditional. Some people like modern. There's so much out there that, you know what, all three of us could have completely different tastes in knives, and we can sit here and talk for damn near an hour and a half about knives. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, I agree.
Absolutely.
What I always say it, man. I say it every time somebody says, you know, they pop up on my channel and say, I don't like this or I don't like that. And why did you do that? And I'll say the same thing. The thing I love most about knives in general is that there is a knife for everyone. Everyone has a knife and no one is wrong.
Yeah. No, you're very, very true.
You know, I hate that knife because it's this way. Well, good. Don't buy one. That's the best thing ever. Yeah. You know what you don't want.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I don't have.
Strangely enough, I have probably 2 or 3 videos on this knife. There is a guy that goes to every video about this knife, not just mine, everybody's video, and just bashes this knife. And I just told the guy, I said, look, hey, I love this knife. So if you don't want to hear about it, go find another channel. Because I'm going to talk about this knife on my channel. So that was I because I looked him up and sure enough, he pretty much bashes this knife everywhere he goes.
Some people need a hobby beyond, I guess, that, you know, I had somebody call me a boomer on my channel the other day.
Really?
Yeah, boomer channel or something like that was the comment. And I was like,
gosh.
you know, maybe you should go find someone else's channel to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, I get I'm old, jerk. But, you know, I mean,
This is the part where JB tells you I'm probably older than you, but go ahead.
Oh, well, and JB and I are pretty much about the same age.
Yeah, see.
He's not that much older than we are.
He's 150. He sounds great.
You got the 50 part, right?
Oh.
With a 1.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, man. So this year I'll turn 50 in July. And I've been thinking about it. And I think that I should turn 49 again because 2020 sucked.
Yeah.
So if that,
a do-over?
Yeah, right. Or at least just pretend it never happened. How old are you? I'm something, you know, I talk about this in my classes all the time. When we were kids, and I'm sure to kids today it's the same, but you know, 40s and 50s is ancient.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I look back at the way the people that were in their 40s and 50s acted when I was a kid, and by comparison, I am not old. I am 12. So I don't get.
There you go.
You know, Gen Xers, and I am Gen X, right? Born, what is it, 69 through 68 through 80, whatever, right?
We're all Xers here.
Yeah, right. You may, to the kids out there watching, you may think we're old, but first off, it will happen to you too. And you have no idea how good you have it, because what we should be doing is spending a lot of time yelling at you for your music and saying, get off my lawn. And we don't do any of that crap.
Yeah.
No. That's funny. Hey, yeah, we
all
were
right.
joking.
Sometimes I yell at the kids outside, but whatever.
We were joking earlier because Justin, Knife Dude, didn't know who Ren and Stimpy were. So, but he's only 14. So what do you want?
Well, and that was another cool part about it. That other group one we did.
Peter laughing.
Yeah. That other group channel chat that we did, we had somebody in their teens, we had somebody in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Yep.
All talking about one thing.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's cool. He's showing Rand. Oh.
I'm starting to get hungry. I smell food cooking in the other room.
You know what?
So.
I was pretty much getting ready to say that same thing. It's getting about that time. Guys, thank you so very much.
JB, thank you so much for inviting me, dude.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Peter, KC, of course, Chris from TI Addiction, and Justin, the Knife Dude. Guys, I'll put links to everybody's channels down in the description so you can go check them out if you haven't. If you're watching me, I'm sure you probably know them as well. Guys, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic start to your new year.
You too.
Just best wishes and much love to y'all.
Awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.